This is how I practice a movable F scale in 2 octaves anywhere on the fretboard. I call it a movable F because the lowest point we can play it on the fretboard, actually using the nut, would be an F. But let's move it up a little bit and we'll play it in A. So there's no shifts in this scale, both octaves. The first finger is going to be on the 4th fret, second finger on the 5th fret, third finger on the 6th fret, and fourth finger on the 7th fret. But remember, that's just playing it in A. The point is that we can just take that and move it anywhere we want to play any scale we need to play. The reason I like to study movable scales is because I can put them anywhere and play in any key and have a framework and know my way around. I do 4 exercises. The first one is just going up and down the scale. And as always, I like to do the arpeggio in between the exercises. So right after I land that last note in the scale, I'll jump right into the arpeggio. That looks like an E shape for the chord, and it is. But the scale is an F because we can't move this all the way down and play an E, because when we get to the third note even, it's not going to be there. It's going to be below the nut. That one. The second exercise, up 2 steps and down a third. The only reason I'm playing these fast is because I can't stop thinking about the camera when I play them slow, so I actually have to play them fast for this demo so that I'm not thinking about you too much. When you're practicing, you play these really slow. So although there's not a shift in the scale, there is one kind of a shift when you're doing things in thirds. So on the second octave, I gotta go from the 7th fret here, and I don't want to have to skip my pinky. That's really awkward. Yuck. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, if the pinky is planted, and this is a rule of mine for shifting, not a rule, but this is a trick I use a lot. When I'm shifting, if I have a finger planted, and that's the same fret I need to jump to, another finger will come and help. See, the third finger came up to help on a fret that the 4th finger would usually cover because they're buddies, right? He's not going to leave his man out to dry. Most of the time, having to do that trick and shifting when you usually wouldn't have to shift is going to happen when you're doing thirds from the G string to the B string or from the B string to the G string, major thirds, because they're on the same fret. Coming down the scale, it's down 2 steps and up a third. So that trick we talked about, when you're on your way down, you have to kind of anticipate it. If I plant the pinky here, it's hard for the 3rd finger to get on that side of the pinky. It's hard for him to come and help him out. I'm going to anticipate it, and when I get to that note, knowing I'm coming back up a third, I'm going to plant the 3rd finger. See? He comes and helps out on the front end, because that's easier than having him come and help out in the back end. If you're improvising, you might not have known you were going to go back up. And so there's nothing wrong with having the 3rd finger help out on that side. It's just harder. So when I practice these things, teaching my fingers to anticipate those shifts, because it's easier for me. You know when you're playing a Stratocaster and you're trying to pick stuff and think about your technique, and then your pick keeps hitting the middle pickup? Ugh, so annoying. Should have used my Les Paul for this. The third exercise is going to be the opposite of the second exercise. It's up a third and down 2 steps on the way up. One thing I do that I didn't talk about is I leave the fingers down on the way up and on the way down. So, and then back down. I don't know why I do that, but I think it's good. On the way down for exercise 3, it's down a third and up 2 steps. And the last exercise is going to be up a third and down a step. On the way down is down a third and up a step. If it would have been easier for you to have tablature to follow along with, click the link below. There's a free download for you. Remember, there's only 5 core scale shapes for the whole fretboard, so you want to take your time and get this one down before moving on to the next one. In the next video, we're going to cover the last of the 5 core movable scale shapes for the guitar neck that you can play anywhere.